welcome to episode 18 of Prog Review. One of the viewers of this channel suggested that I check out Camel's Mirage for my Prog review, but instead I decided to look at the Snow Goose instead because I'm a contrary so-and-so. This is the video where I am exposed as a complete fraud and charlatan because I broke my Camel cherry. Yes, before this I was a Camel virgin. Never heard any of their music. I know, it's a shameful thing to admit. I blame it on my local second-hand record shop when I was a young lad, never having any of their albums in the bargain bin. So there you go. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But yeah, over the years I've never gotten around to exploring Camel. Always meant to, but I always had the feeling it was a little bit too twee for my leanings. So anyway, I purchased Snow Goose from I think it was Amazon.co.uk. The MP3 still there, bought the deluxe edition, and for the last few days I've been listening to it. And yeah, I mean, you know, as it's one of their seminal works, I thought it, you know, it deserved a listen. So anyway, as far as I can tell, the album is a concept album. It tells the story of a man who goes out in the winter and pinches ladies' bottoms. I'm kidding. That doesn't happen. It's based on a story by Paul Gallico about a crippled artist. It's set at the time of World War II. It's about a crippled artist who can't go to war, is stigmatised, but befriends a young girl, and they rescue a Snow Goose, nurse it back to life. He helps liberate soldiers from the shores of Dunkirk. There's not an happy ending in sight, but the whole story basically works on the theme of friendship and redemption. I know that because I read it on Wikipedia. You know, a clever so-and-so, but I will one day get around to reading the book because it sounds interesting, especially after hearing the album. Now, on first glance, I wouldn't say there's anything particularly progressive about the music of Camel. Whoa, put down the pitchforks and the flaming torches. Let me just explain. Compared to their peers, I found Camel's music a bit more pedestrian and MOR, that's middle of the road, compared to the likes of Genesis and whoever else. Their music, you know, doesn't really bring in other styles. It doesn't really push rock music forward. You know, they don't rely on classical or jazz or weird key changes to make their music interesting. It's you know, for me, Camel are the safest of the progressive rock bands I've heard. But I'm not slating them. That's my opinion. I'm just giving it. You know, let me get to the end before you decide to rip me a virtual new one. So anyway, the album opens with the atmospheric Great Marsh. It's an ambient piece of music. Really, it's an ambient piece of music, but it builds into the instrumentation that runs through the entire album. And this leads into Riada, which is the name of the lead character, which has a lovely flute motif. The track is light and it's uplifting. What I like about this album is melody is really the order of the day, and despite this album being labelled prog, there's a host of melodic tunes to get through. Now, for many, whistling is the equivalent of Satan wafting a particularly pungent fart in your face. But for me, whistling is my lifeblood. It's the essence of the idler, and I find myself whistling many of the tunes from this record. That's a good thing. Rider goes to town, sees the band try to ramp up a gear, And this is where my real criticism of Camel comes in. And whilst they're erstwhile tunesmiths and are good at delivering fade tunes, when it comes to the heavier end of the rock spectrum, they lack a certain testicular fortitude. But this is just me having a quibble. I'm sure that some dribbling fanboy will correct me and tell me what a corpulent, obese mess I am, and what a complete see you next Tuesday I might be. Yeah, I really do know nothing. I'm completely brainless. I'm a dribbling retard, and sometimes I really do wonder how I remember to keep breathing. Such is my latent idiocy. Now we've got that out of the way. That's how to insult. I'm giving you a masterclass there. You know, what bugs me is if you're gonna criticise, at least be fucking articulate about it. You know, at least explain why you disagree with me rather than calling me names. I'm a 40-year-old man. I've heard it all. You cannot hurt me. I know what I am. So we've got that out of the way. Let's move on. If you want to criticise and engage with me, by all means do so. If you're going to call me an idiot, at least have the decency and the courtesy to explain why I'm an idiot. Okay, that's the rant out of the way. That's it. I digress. You got me off the subject again. Now, after that track, we return to the gentle pastoral plains with Sanctuary. It's a delightful, if short piece, which moves nicely into its companion song Frither, which is about the little girl in the story, and the music really does seem fitting. It fits well with there's an emotional core to this. You can feel that it's about a girl. It's got a light, easy quality to the music. Now this, as we're going through it, we're building towards what I believe is the heart of the album. It's the title track, which is again it's a gentle guitar workout. And I can imagine at the time that the fans of the band would be lying back, rolling a fat one, and blissing out. Of course, I can't condone pharmaceutical fun. I'm a simple pile of pint man, as evidence will reveal. And to cue the insults about my weight again. The most curious piece, and for me the most enjoyable because I like things that are a little bit left field, a little bit strange, out of place, is Friendship. It's a quasi chamber orchestra, short melodic piece, which has plenty of oboe action, if you like that kind of thing. If you like a good go on the oboe, then that's a song for you. And this leads nicely into Migration, where the only human voice on the album is allowed to sing a melody, and it's lightly breathed over a scattering of drums and bass. Then another gear shift, and we're heading towards Riada Alone, and it's a bit of a maudlin track, painting a picture of that the main protagonist is suffering, a test of his character, perhaps. I don't know, not read the book. I'm just relating what emotions the album gave to me. Now, for me, again, in my opinion, the money shot of the album is Flight of the Snow Goose, because I absolutely loved the guitar work put down. I loved the twin guitars and the tone that the guitarists achieved. I just thought it was really hit the sweet spot, hit the zone. The solid rhythm work from the backline complements the track, and this is the song that won me over to the cause completely. And I could hear myself in the music, and that's a good thing. Preparation again shifts the tone of the album into another direction. You have ethereal voices and the synthesizer arpeggios, which are quite involving, and slowly it cranks up the tension to Dunkirk, which had a little bit of a Genesis feel to it with the chord phrasing at the beginning. However, now this is where the band falls down. I was expecting something of an audio attack, some dynamite to happen. I mean, after all, there was meant to be a war going on and a rescue operation and people under fire. But I felt that the resolution of this track was a bit of a damp squib. It just didn't deliver. So yeah, a little bit disappointed. Epitaph, it echoes what as the themes that have been brought up with Preparation, and is suitably stark and desperate after the events of Dunkirk. The emotional mood is dropped even further. Fritha Alone is a nice little piano-led piece which paints another picture, for the story. La Princesse Perdue soars. It lifts the spirits. After being brought down so low, that track allows the listener to be risen. It's the return of the Snow Goose, the sign that, perhaps Rayard has been reborn, and Fritha is happy. Again, the musical theme of Flight of the Snow Goose is resolved. It's given a new setting as the creature returns to Fritha, and after the bleakness and misery of the last couple of tracks, it really does come as a emotional relief, and it's a nice way to bring the album to a close. But the final track is the reprise of The Great Marsh. It opens the album and it's reprised, and it brings the whole song cycle to a natural finish. So the circle is complete, and that's something that happens in many progressive rock albums. So what do I think? Well, I really enjoyed it actually. I've been playing it on repeat the last few days. I really liked how melodious it all was, and how I could whistle my favourite bits without tying my tongue in knots. You can't get that with quite a few progressive rock bands. But my only criticism is that parts of the music lacks the raw power you get with their musical peers of that period. But now this is where you want to pin your lug holes back. What you've got here is something more valuable than gold. Yes, this album is a commodity that is a rare thing. This is what they call gateway prog. And if you've ever tried to get a girlfriend or a non-believer into progressive rock, this is probably an ideal album to introduce them and try and drag them into the fold. It's not threatening, there aren't any difficult concepts to pick up. It's got a picture of a goose on the front, and it packs enough melody and tunes to get them whistling. Remember, whistling is the key. Remember that. In fact, for those of you out there who are blessed with little people in your family, this is probably the ideal record to brainwash them with. Play it to your kiddie winks instead of sending them off to bed with nightmares after making them listen to Porn Hearts by Van der Graaf Generator. My 4-year-old daughter, I put the headphones on her, and because she was curious, she often says, "What are you listening to?" And I put it on, and she really enjoyed it. She says, "I like Camel, I like the Flight of the Snow Goose, that's good, Dad." So there you go. Even a 4-year-old will like it. It's but yeah, I mean, thanks for the tip. If you've got any more advice, any more albums you want me to check out, I'll happily listen to them and give you an honest appraisal, whether you like it or not. Again, if you like the video, thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down. It doesn't matter. If you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. If you want to be really clever, leave a video response. If you want to be super smart and win a gazillion kudos points, record an intro for me. One young chap did it on my discipline review. He did a nice little skit, and it worked well as an intro. If any of you want to jump aboard and have a go at that, then by all means do a video response to this video and make me laugh. So you're saying, "Darren, what do you rate it?" We want to know what the rating is. Well, I'm going to give the Snow Goose a quacking 4 filter tips out of 5. That's 4 filter tips out of 5. I thought it was good fun. I'm probably going to check out some more Camel albums. I don't think I'm going to be a die-hard fan. I think this one is probably enough for me. But I'll probably check out the rest. And that, let's say, is that. I've listened to I've read your opinions about the swearing incident. I'm going to keep it classy. I'm going to try and use some euphemisms like "see you next Tuesday." I'll let you work that one out. and yeah, I'll try and be a good boy. And if I do drop the F-bomb occasionally, it'll only be maybe once. And so don't report me to YouTube. And that's it. My name's been Darren Locke, and you've been doing what you always do. And yeah, it's the weekend, and the weekend means prog on.